Hey, this is Jamey with Stonemaier Games, and today I'm going to talk about a game that I have no visuals for. This is a game called The Chameleon. I played this for the first time with a friend and his family just the other day. Played a couple times, actually, and I really enjoyed it. The Chameleon is basically, if you've heard of these other games, it's a little bit like Spyfall, and it's also like A Fake Artist Goes to New York, in that one player doesn't know the key piece of information that all the other players know. For example, there are a couple of random cards in the game. One is a random card that shows a category, and then I believe a 4x4 grid, it might be 5x4, of a bunch of different words in that category. So it might be, like, the category might be underwater, and the words on that chart might be a bunch of different things that are underwater. Like it might say whale, it might say octopus, it might say diver, it might say shipwreck, things like that, things that you find underwater. And each player around the table is dealt a random card, and most of those cards are identical. And those cards, also on those cards is a special grid. It's a kind of a cipher where one player will roll 2 dice, and you'll look at this cipher, and it'll show you on this grid on the middle of the table which word everybody knows. So say the roll of the dice determines that you're going to look at section D3 on the underwater grid, and that means that everyone knows that the key word is shipwreck. However, the one exception here is that one player, the chameleon, is dealt a blank card, or a card that says you are the chameleon. They don't know what the word is. They don't know what that everyone else knows that the word is shipwreck. And you go around the table and you have to give a one-word clue to indicate that you know what the word is. I'm pretty much describing the game right here, but it is kind of crucial for you to understand my favorite mechanism. And then after everyone's given a one-word clue, everyone points at one person at the table that they think is the chameleon. And if the chameleon is selected, so say everyone goes around the table, they say things that are kind of related to shipwreck, and I say fin, because I think they're talking about a fish for whatever reason. I'm the chameleon. I'm not good enough to give a clue there, and everyone points at me. I get one chance to take all this information that I've heard from around the table and guess what the word is. And if I can guess correctly, then I kind of win that round. There's probably a point system. We didn't play that way. So the key here is that you are giving clues that relate to everyone that you are not the chameleon, but you're not giving clues that are so specific that that the chameleon can just outright guess the word at the end of the round if they are selected. The key here that I really like about this system, again, that I've seen in Spyfall, I've also seen in A Fake Artist Goes to New York, is that you are given a category to start with. You have some information as to the general idea of what everyone's talking about. And I think that's helpful for the chameleon. It's also helpful for all the other players because it gives all players a real reason to constantly look at that grid, because you want to give a word that makes sense for you not being the chameleon. But if you are the chameleon, you have a great reference as to the types of things that you can choose from. You're not picking out of thin air, basically. Which is the case in one of my favorite games of this genre, A Fake Artist Goes to New York. You were just making up a word and then drawing part of a picture to try to figure out what it is. It's very loosey-goosey in probably a good way at times, but I love how Chameleon gives you that category to focus on and to look at, regardless whether you are the chameleon or one of the players who knows what the clue is. So I really like that. I like the category. I like this grid system. And I wanted to mention that after we were done playing a few rounds of this, I suggested that we try to play essentially A Fake Artist Goes to New York with the chameleon method. And so we handed out a piece of paper, or got a piece of paper. Everyone got a different color of marker, and we played a round of the chameleon, or a couple rounds really, where we were collectively drawing one of the words and trying to guess who was the chameleon and what the word was. Can't remember if we did. I think we just went around the table once. Maybe we did it twice, because in A Fake Artist Goes to New York, you go around and draw twice. And it worked out really well. If you have the chameleon, you can actually play A Fake Artist Goes to New York with the chameleon using this categorical grid system, which I think just it really helps you narrow your focus a little bit when you're instead of having a person pick a random word as you do in A Fake Artist, you have this grid to go by, and as you're playing the round, you can look at it to make sure that you're conveying something, you're conveying the right thing, but that you aren't giving too much information away to the chameleon. So I highly recommend trying that if you enjoy the chameleon or have played it. Yeah, so this categorical system, my favorite mechanism in this game. If you played the Chameleon or any of these other games, I'd love to know what your thoughts are on these genres, and if you like the idea of narrowing it down by category or leaving it wide open as you do in A Fake Artist Goes to New York. Thanks.